Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first one is titled, She Thought I Was a Domino's Employee, Then Thought I Was Fooling Around. Back when I worked at Food Lion long ago, I went to visit a friend at Domino's and give him a ride home. This day I was technically off but wore khakis and a blue shirt since I worked at Food Lion and was called in. It was a Saturday night, so you know it was crazy busy, and this was before the advent of constant online ordering, so you were stuck to the phone. He had to stay a little late and I had to use the bathroom, so the manager let me in the back to use it. While I was walking to the front, a lady that was waiting in the front got up and said to me, "Where is my damn pizza at?" I said, "Whoa lady, that was uncalled for, but they will check on it for you." She got even madder and said, "I've been waiting for over 30 minutes and you guys still didn't make my ducking pizza." I just flat out told her, "Look lady, I know you are upset but I don't work here either way. I am not going to let you yell at me about a pizza." She continued to fuss about why I was near the back then and something was wrong with the business and she is going to report them. The manager just said they will give her the money back at this point because now she is yelling. I ended up walking past her and they threatened cops, so she left right behind me. She was still fussing at this point, going to her car. The next one is titled, Woman Just Scream, Hit an Officer and Try to Run. Just because she thinks I work in the kiosk. Hello there. That is my first time posting something on Reddit, and the reason is my girlfriend think that was a funny moment on our trip and she introduced me to this, and now I never see a perfect place for this story. A little context, I work as a federal officer in a state capital. Save that information, and for that, I always go on a trip to a beach in the month of March because is my vacation month and is not so search for trip, making a lot easy to find a house to rent. I don't know if the other countries are like that, but here we can rent a house for some days or weeks only for trips and stay, is cheap and more private as a hotel. On the trip I was with my girlfriend, who I will call here GF because my creativity is so bad that I can't think a name by now, my friend from work who will be Miss Guy because he only arrive in the place on the next day, and the sister of my girlfriend who will be SG. P.S. That happened last year, before this corona thing. Now to the story. I was just chilling, waiting for my GF, and her sister came back while I am playing a match of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. She did look like a Karen on the first sight, the blonde hair, the black glass and the noise she make with their brats kids. She was trying to pass the solar protector on the kids. Maybe they were 6 or 8, I don't know because I really don't want to know anything about them, who was screaming for not go the water. Soon they came in. I was a little annoyed because they were really close to me, but I just get up and go close to the water after I lost that match. Don't judge, I am awful in a game who don't have guns to look close on the sea and try to find my GF when I felt something touch my shoulder. When I turn around, the mother was a little close to me and this conversation happened. Me, hola. Posso te ayudar? Hi. Can I help you? What? Stop speaking Spanish with me and talk like a normal person. Me, trying not take that too personal. Sorry miss, and is Portuguese, not Spanish. But again, how can I help you? Little rude, don't you think? Well, can you please grab some tables for me and my kids? We want to sit and eat something. Me, lady, I think you just judged something wrong. I not work here. Now think about it, I am a black man, large with some muscles and a tribal tattoo on my back and a face of some kind of gangster. I don't think I am the most nicely looking guy to work with people, but somehow, she just takes off. Nowhere I work there, but later I find out the reason. When I was about to get yelled by not doing my work, my GF show up. GF, is everything okay here? Me, yes babe, she just confused me as one of the boys who work in the kiosk. The then have a break, just for no reason. What did I just tell you about? Speak that language with your costumer? Me, miss, here is other country, maybe we are the same continent but not the same country, and my girlfriend don't know English and I just say that, I don't work here. What do you mean by not know English? She is just too idiot for learn a simple language. At that point, I am mad. See, I don't care if you're going to assault me, beat me up, even shoot me. But man, don't be a douche with my girlfriend. Me, look, if you're going to crap talk about her, maybe you should go and F yourself hard enough to maybe develop a functional brain and start to know that this is another place. How rude. The go away and my GF hugged me, because by I heard from her, I was pure anger and wanting a head. After a few minutes, the come back with the manager of the kiosk. He The black guy with the glasses. Manager, miss, I don't think he the M just cut him like F that information. He was rude with me and just tell me to F myself. Is that way you train your staff? Manager, man, you really tell her to F herself? I just nod, saying, you better bet you're a cow. Manager, lady, I can't fire him M, looking a little redder, why not? Manager, because he does not work here lady. The M is now furious. I think she has a brain who only work when people say yes to her, and when things do not happen as she wanted, she just freaks out. M, what did you mean by that? You really are trying to save your lazy employee? You all and yes, she said the N-word are all the same. Now, remember when I said I was a federal officer? So, that came really handy because this story got nuts. The manager was trying to calm her down, but she just screams and screamed like a banshee with another banshee on a call. It was so loud that just called an attention of 2 officers who was doing their patrol among the beaches. The officers trying to speak to her, but she was just mad and go on my direction and try to hit me with a slap, and my only reaction is to throw her down and make an immobilization move. She just screams, assault, and I was trying to abuse her. The officers were ready to make me go away in the patrol car when I just pull out my badge. The woman saw the cops doing nothing and go pale when they tell her what I do for live, then trying to make some excuses like, is a fake badge, and this yep, N-word again, can't be an officer. She ended handcuffed as the 2 kids was crying about how the evil man hurt their mama. As a result, I gain free fries for the trouble and gain a story to tell. The next one is titled, I swear they get younger every year. So, this happened over a decade ago, but I was reminded by a FB memory and thought it could fit here. So, when I was about 10-11, I went to a middle school that required a school uniform. I was wearing a navy polo shirt and a khaki skirt with built-in shorts under it. I was scrawny as hell. Beanpole would be an accurate description. Well, after school one day my brother and I go to a major chain electronics company to get a new mouse for the family desktop computer. The company uniform was a royal blue shirt with a yellow tag logo and khakis. So, I look like a miniature employee. Well, my brother spends about 45 minutes searching the video game aisle for games he couldn't afford. I wander the store. I am in the laptop case section by the back wall, when I see a little old lady lol trying to grab a bag from the top shelf but can't straighten enough to reach it. She sees me approach and lights up. Lol, excuse me, miss. Would you mind helping me get the purple bag? I'm 11, was taught to help my elders, and had nothing better to do. I could barely get it, as I was still short as hell, but I got it off the hook. Me, here you go, ma'am. Lol, thank you so much. My granddaughter just got a full scholarship to school, and purple is the school color. Me, wow. A full scholarship? She must be super smart. Lol, she is. Such a good girl. Little old lady then wanders off towards the front counter, but I hear her mumble, I swear they get younger every year. Stop. This is a happy ending. I wish this was where the story ended, but alas it did not stop there. About 5 more minutes pass, before I hear a toddler shrieking, Bano. Bano. Mammy. The kid probably was about 3, and his mum was looking around frantically while talking to the boy in Spanish. Well, as a regular to the store, I knew there was not a public bathroom. I also knew very little Spanish at the time, so I did my best. I pointed to the store next to us that had a bathroom. She understood what I was trying to say and thanked me. She said something I didn't understand before picking up her kid and rushing off. Well, she left her purse behind. I felt awkward walking away and leaving it there unattended, so I lingered while waiting for her to come back. Well, another 5 minutes pass, and she still isn't back. I am really bored at this point, so I start straightening products on the shelves. When up comes a couple. 2 atypical Karens. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Karen walk up to me. The man has a cart loaded down with a TV and a bunch of other stuff. The woman walks up to me and looks down at me with a disgusted look. Mrs. K, they are backed up at the register. Me, I'm sorry? Mrs. K, you should be. You need to check us out right now. Me, I don't work here. Mr. K, yes, you do. Me, no, I don't. Mr. K, I've seen you help 2 other customers already, and you are cleaning crap right now. Me, sir, I really don't work here. I am just hanging out here after school, and Mrs. K, you little trash. You don't want to help us because we are black. That it, isn't it? You are a little racist boy. Me 11F who was starting to tear up. No. I'm not. I was just bored while waiting for Mr. K. Get your lazy butt up to those counters where it belongs and check us out then, before we get you fired, racist cow. Me starts backing away because I am scared, but Mrs. K looms over me. Don't you dare walk away from me. She then shoved me, and I fell into a new video game console display, knocking over about 15 boxes. It made a very loud and expensive sounding crash. Cue dismayed employee Da and older brother Ob showing up finally. Ob Jane, are you okay? Not my real name, just a generic one that is similar. Da, what happened? Mr. K, I'll tell you what happened. This racist employee just knocked the display over on purpose so she could blame it on us. Mrs. K, yeah. And at first she said that she didn't work for people like us and that we should go back to Africa where we belong. Mr. K, people like her shouldn't work here. She should be in prison. Me, an already emotional train wreck of an individual who was in counseling for crippling self-doubt and anxiety, bursts into tears. Mrs. K, pathetic. Da, he paused and looked me over. Wait, who are you? Mr. K, she's one of the employees here. I saw her helping other customers. Ob, no, she's not. She's my little sister. Mr. K, don't cover up for a racist brat. Ob, she's 11. She's supposed to be a brat. But she's too nice. Honestly, it's annoying how nice she is. Grumpy manager finally comes out of his office and ushers us into 2 different rooms. Police are called because they wanted to press charges against ME. Well, the police show up and are taking statements. Now, they are also accusing me of assault and theft. My mum came from the grocery store next door to pick us up and go home and is directed to the manager's office. Police come in to take my statement. I tell them my side of the story. They ask if I have any ID. I pull my 5th grade student ID for a local elementary school. One of the officers look at it and asks what teacher I have. Me, Miss M, sir. Cop, really? My daughter is in that class. So, I read his last name off his uniform, and recognized it as my good friend from school. Me, are you Mary's dad? Cop, that'd be me. Are you the Jane she's been trying to have a sleepover with? I nodded. Cop, well, we have your statements, and have watched the footage. Mum, footage? Cop, yeah. The whole thing was on tape, including Jane helping some other customers, them yelling at you, the woman pushing you into that display, and then them blaming you. Mum, really? Thank goodness. Cop, would you like to press charges? After that, the 2 were taken away in handcuffs. We pressed charges. While they were taken away, the man screamed threats at me and kicked the officer. As he was being placed in the police car, the Hispanic woman who I had helped walked up beside my family and said, "That guy is crazy." I turned to her and stared in awe and a bit of confusion. Her, yes, I speak English. Me, I didn't mean to assume, I just heard you talking Spanish earlier. So, her, oh, don't worry about it. It was sweet that you were trying so hard to be helpful. Keep practicing. After that, my mum always took us home to change out of our school uniforms before we went to the store. The next one is titled, "You're Asian, You Have to Work Here." Well, I told this story to a few people in a chat group I am in and they think I should share it. It's a little bit I don't work here lady and petty revenge. A small bit of background: I am a 29-year-old Vietnamese-born Canadian woman living in the Toronto area. One of my close friends owns a nail spa and salon I go to often, mostly because I like to be pampered once in a while, and having a friend who owns a place just makes sure you know you're going to get good treatment. Well, this takes place in the waiting room of her salon. For context, the waiting room was completely separate from the rest of the businesses. It was at the front of the shop. You have to go through a door to get to the spa part. They have allotted nails and mostly everything a spa would have. The owner is Chinese. For context, she speaks English and Cantonese. This is relative to the story. This is also pre-2020. I had just got into the shop and just spoke to my friend, and it was a super slow day, maybe 2 people working, the owner and 1 employee. I was told to wait in the lobby, and of course I do. After about 5 minutes, Karen walks in, plunks herself down on a chair 2 seats away from me and grabs a magazine. Not even 5 minutes of waiting, the Karen grabs my attention with an "Excuse me." I look up from my phone and say, "Yes? How much longer is it going to be?" I don't have a clue, so I say, "Sorry, I don't know," and go back to my phone. After about another min or two I hear in a very kerny tone, "Excuse me." I once again look up from my phone and say yes? Karen says, "Can you stop playing with your phone and book me in? I am in a hurry, I need my nails done now." I say I don't work here, to which Karen replies, "Yes you do, why else would you be in an Asian nail salon?" And well, I said, "What the duck is wrong with you? Which I am here for the same reason you are, to get my nails done, you know, the same reason you're here. You don't need to witch me out for waiting in a waiting room in a salon in a red dress, obviously not dressed to work in a place like this." I give out a nice big eye roll, suck my teeth and sit back down and go back to my phone. About another min goes by and my friend comes out and says, "Jade, we're ready for you now, come on back." The Karen stands up and starts to walk to the door. My friend immediately knew she was trying to steal my spot and said, "I'm sorry, I was calling my friend over there." The Karen was like, "No, it's my appointment." Well, it didn't work the way she wanted. My friend told her to take a seat and she will be right back. On the way back I told my friend exactly what happened. Speaking in Cantonese, I am multilingual, and I asked her to not serve her. I even told her I would pay double for her not to serve her. My friend was like, "No, don't worry, I got you." My friend goes back out to help Karen. Also remember, it was a very slow day. My friend asked her how she can help, and the Karen said, "I need my nails done," and my friend asked if she had an appointment. She didn't. My friend said, "Unfortunately we have 2 openings today, you're welcome to wait for a cancellation." The Karen did. Karen was still in the waiting room when my hour-long appointment finished. My friend later called me that night and said she waited 2 hours before she finally left in a huge huff. So, it goes to say, if you want something, don't be racist, don't be a witch, because it will come back to bite you in the ass. The next one is titled, "Maybe Regional Manager?" More of a short and wholesome story, and my fault really, but maybe you still like it. A few years back I was working as an analyst for a financial services company and went to work in a suit, not like super expensive, but still legit business attire. Also, we were living directly next to a grocery store, 5 meters, 15 feet between doors, in an apartment building. More often than not, instead of changing before shopping, I would grab whatever we needed on my way home, not bothering for shopping carts or the like. One day I went to grab something small, can't remember, maybe butter or something, and put it in my briefcase. Remember, full businessman. Walking out the door, there was an old lady, 70s I guess, standing there with her groceries. She held her hand out and asked me, "Sind Sie von hier?" This is tricky, because in German that could be interpreted as, "Are you from here?" or "Do you work here?" Though she might be looking for some place, so I answered, "Yeah, yes," as in, "Yes, I know my way around, ask me whatever it is you are looking for." She smiled and pointed to her groceries and said something along the lines of, "They are heavier than I thought, could someone carry them to my car over there?" Her car was parked a few feet down the street, so I shrugged, grabbed her bags, and walked over to the car with her. After packing everything up, she said something to the effect of, "Thank you, but I thought you would send one of your employees to help me," to which I laughed and explained everything to her, pointing my apartment and everything. She laughed as well and even wanted to give me a tip, which I declined. She then jokingly said something like, "Oh boy, if I tell my husband I am bothering strangers to help with the groceries, he will be angry with me." We shared a last laugh and went on our ways. As I said, short and no drama, but still chuckle thinking about the situation. Wearing a suit, I could just fathom the idea of someone thinking I was working at a grocery store. Turns out I can still be mistaken for the manager. The next one is titled, "You Want to Complain to the Store Manager and Get a Worker in Trouble?" I don't think so. Participants, K equals Kevin, me equals me, D1 equals Deli Worker 1, D2 equals Deli Worker 2, SM equals Store Manager. This happened a few years ago, so I don't remember all the details, but here it goes. Now I have a seasonal business, and many times my wife will call me with a mini order to get at our favorite grocery store. This day is no exception. On this particular day I am getting tonight's meal from the deli, and it's close to the time when the workers there are near the end of their shift. As I walk up, I hear an older gentleman, K, is complaining to a deli worker that he can't find what he is looking for. Well, the deli worker explains that he knew and isn't sure where it is and says he'll get someone who can. K gives a grunt, and the worker goes and talks to an older lady, D2. D2 comes to K and asks what he needs. She tells him to follow her and she leads him to Chilling Island near the deli. He replies, "Well, it's about time." I don't know how long this may have gone on, but I get the impression it isn't very long. So, the D2 gets to the location where K's product is put. She looks and then turns towards him and apologies that they are out of stock. At this, Kay stomps and says that she is a terrible employee for not getting him what he wanted. And as all Karens, Kevins do, he threatens to go to the manager and have her fired. Then he storms off. This leaves the poor lady visibly shaken and in tears. While this was happening, I picked up what I needed but stayed till the matter finished. Due to his agitated state, I was concerned for the employee's safety. After Kay had left, I made sure to talk with the SM about how another customer had left one of his deli workers in tears. He was clearly concerned and immediately headed off towards the deli. At this, I took my purchase home. Approximately 18 months later, I ran into D2, who still works at the deli. I mentioned how bad I had felt for her and that I had wanted to make sure she didn't get into trouble. She looked at and said, "That was you." I replied, "Yes ma'am, I just didn't want to see you get into any trouble." Well, she thanked me and told me that that particular customer was known for such behavior and that because of my report the manager had banned Kevin from the store. While I don't like to see someone get into trouble, even if they really deserve it, it felt nice to know that I had done something to help out. The next one is titled, Somewhat Wholesome Story. Sorry, there are no Karens or fights. I was absent-mindedly pumping my gas at the gas station and a guy in a white Impala backs his car up behind mine to the next pump. He had Indiana plates, so they stuck out from the ugly orange New York plates. He come up to me and hands me a $50 and says fill it up and goes into the store. Now, about me. I am not a petite little girl. I am 5'7" and 200+ pounds. That day, my middle of my back hair was curled to perfection and I had full face on, lashes and all. I was wearing a black pencil skirt and a dark blue jacket with my favorite heels. So, me being me, I finished pumping my gas and started pumping his. I know all the employees there and the manager. I get about $20 in and the guy comes running out of the store, yelling stop. The manager is 4 steps behind him laughing hysterically. He started yelling at me for not telling him I was not an employee. I let him get his part out and looked him in the eye and asked what harm was done. He sputtered about making women do a man's job and not paying attention. I had to laugh at that point, which upset him. I told him I see nothing wrong with doing a good deed for someone. I was in a good mood and ahead of schedule, which is a rarity for me, being ahead of schedule. This guy turned 14 shades of red and asked to pay for my gas, which I declined. He kept apologizing, even though I said it was not a big deal. He said he doesn't normally throw cash at women, turning even more shades of red. This poor man kept digging his own grave the more he spoke. Eventually, he left, and all the employees laughed at the guy.